All right, so now we're going to start talking about negative numbers. All right, so what is a negative number? Well, every number, say I write down the number 4, has a sign, okay? And the sign goes out here in front. It just so happens that 4 is a positive number, so therefore its sign is positive. And typically, when we write down a positive number, we don't write down the sign. Where we write the number or the sign down is when we're dealing with a negative. Now the book, don't ask me why books have started doing this. I don't know if they've gotten lazy with the print or what, but they put negatives inside of parentheses typically, or they put the minus like that, like a -4. But in reality, the sign should go up into the upper left-hand corner, and older textbooks do that. And I'm going to end up doing that a lot. And just so you know, I say right or upper left, yeah, upper left, that means negative. So what is a negative number? Well, unfortunately, most of us have had to deal with negative numbers before, such as maybe a negative bank account. So I would have -$4 in a checking account. That would mean that I owe $4. Okay? Now, negative also means opposite, right? So this is the opposite of 4. So if we're talking money, I have the opposite of $4. In other words, the opposite of $4 is, of having $4 is owing $4. Okay? Now, we have down here what we call a number line. We like to put things on a number line. For example, say I've got the number 3. I'm going to put something on the number line. That would be 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, typically when you put things on number line, you can put it right there, smack on the number line. But to make this a little clearer, I'm going to put it right above it. Okay? Now, if we build the number line correctly, and we can always expand it. See these arrows I put here? That means this thing goes on forever. So really, it goes all the way to infinity and all the way to -infinity. So let's write down the number -4. So I'm going to put -4 right there in the number line. So which one of these two numbers is bigger than the other? Well, we have these things called greater than and less than signs. Okay? Right. Now, depending on which one of these we use is going to depend on which number is larger. I always look at these as if they're big alligators, okay? And the alligator always wants to eat the bigger number, and it's going to point at the smaller number, okay? So it's going to say, you eat the small number, you eat the small piece of chocolate, I'm eating the big piece of chocolate, okay? So in this case, I would use, whoopsie, this one, because the alligator wants to eat the large piece of chocolate and make you eat the small one. So we would say this is -4 is less than 3. And if we look at the number line, we see that's true, because we read a number line from left to right. So the smaller number always goes on the left. The larger number always goes on the right. So now let's write down the number 2 and put it over here, 2 and -6. Now, which one of these two is larger? Well, 6 is a bigger number than 2, but this negative always means the opposite. So we can look to our number line and we say, okay, well, where's the 2? It's right there. The 2 is right there. Where's the 6? -6. Well, we have to go this way. We have to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay? So in this case, 2 is bigger. So alligator wants to eat the bigger one, make you eat the small one. So 2 is greater than -6. Okay? So now I have a question about -4 and -6. Which one of these is larger? Well, I look at the number line. Here's -4, here's -6. -6 is farther away from 0. That means that -4, even though 4 typically we think of as being smaller than 6, in this case, it's closer to 0 than the negative 6, so it's greater. So negative 4 is greater than negative 6. Okay. Now there are some instances that we're going to come across in this book. We're talking about opposites again. And what does an opposite mean? Okay. Where we have negative, negative 2. Okay. So we already said that negative means opposite. So in this case, opposite of 2 would be, of having $2 would be owing $2. Okay. But this other opposite out here says the opposite of that. So what's the opposite of owing $2? And that would be having $2. So a negative and a negative end up canceling each other out. So we still end up with a 2. We are going to get into that in much greater detail in the next few videos.